So I grew up in Southern California, LA County to be mildly more specific. I haven't been there for years, at least not in any real sense. So I don't know what it's like there now. I don't know what it's been like there for a while. But when I grew up, LA County was gangland, at least a part of it that I was familiar with. Now, that specific bit of information will be relevant. Anyway, one time I was 17 years old. I went to the mall with two of my friends, dude named Bubba, dude named Chop. And Chop had this hat. It was I don't know what team it is, but it was a red hat with the white C on it. And he wanted to get it embroidered, so it said Chop. So we went to a little embroidery kiosk stand, whatever it is that you call it at the mall, so he could have the lady there do it. And she put HOP after the C. And Bubba made a joke that said, it looks like it says C hop, and it stood for Crip hop. And the lady who did it, old white lady, 50, 60 years old, something like that. I'm 17. I don't really know how to gauge people's ages, but she was an older white lady. Said, are you guys talking about Bloods and Crips? Because I thought that was only in Ohio. And I found that extremely interesting. And I know everybody has a super short attention span, but remember this story because it ties into the overall point that I'm making. So I have seen several people online talking about how they don't understand how anyone can be happy or not anxious or feel good with everything going on in the world today, with the state of the world is what they say. And that always makes me think, well, what exactly is the state of the world? Now, I know that people will point to various things going on. They will point to some tragedy or some scandal, or if the ICE stuff is still happening, I'm not really sure. They will talk about that. They will talk about the alleged wars overseas and whatever else, the administration, whatever other grievances it is that they have to say that the world is going in a terrible direction and everything terrible is happening. And to a point, I understand, because if I just sit there and doom scroll, as people like to call it, through my social media feed, I will see nothing but terrible things, mass shootings and bombings in other countries and stuff happening with minorities or children or anything along those lines. You see nothing but division and hatred and everybody fighting and all sorts of terrible things all over the place. But that's online. When I go outside, the world seems very different from what it is that my phone tells me. My eyes and my phone tell a very different story. Because when I go outside, I don't see these things. I don't see all of the division. I don't see all of the hatred. I don't see riots. I don't see mobs. I don't see crimes everywhere that I go. I don't see everybody hating each other. I don't see people fighting in the street due to their political beliefs and things like that. I don't see people refusing to be polite at grocery stores or driving up the street because they think somebody else is MAGA or liberal or whatever else it is that people fight about nowadays. What I see is everybody going on about their daily lives. What I see, quite honestly, is the same exact thing that I've always seen. Is people just doing what it is that they do, going to work, paying bills, running errands, taking care of children, walking their dogs, exercising, trying to have a good time, whatever else it is. That's what I witness everywhere that I go. Now, I'm not saying that because I don't personally see these things that they report on the news, they don't happen. I am aware that some people live around where these things are allegedly taking place. I am aware, we'll go back to the ICE stuff, that if that's still taking place and it's still in Minnesota, then I am aware that some people live in the part of Minnesota where it is that that's happening. And again, I'm not saying it's not because I do not see it. That would be extremely naive. However, what that makes me think of is that old white lady sitting in the mall. She was surrounded by gang members. There were several of them who patronize the establishments that she works at, or at least the overall mall every single day. She sees them walk by her. She probably passes by them on her way to her car, to and from the mall or the bus or however it is that she gets there. She probably lives around some of them. But she does not see that. That is not her world because that is not her worldview. So while she is surrounded by gang members and gang activities, she is so tuned out of that it's not even in her radar, to the point that she doesn't even know that she is surrounded by it. Not only surrounded by it, but in the gang capital of the country where all of that stuff originates from. And to her, she's none the wiser. She saw a news story or a documentary or something on Discovery One channel one time about some gang members in Ohio and figured it was just there. And the reason for that is because that's not what it is that she is focused on. So that's not what it is that she sees. She does not participate in any of that. So it does not affect her. And that made me think about my own personal experiences. Now, I said in the very beginning that the LA County that I knew growing up was gangland, because that's what I was exposed to, and that's what I focused on, and that's what it is that I looked for. But I moved away many, many years ago, and I have been back a few times since having my life together. And I ran into and saw absolutely none of that. There were two groups of people when I moved to North Carolina, and I would tell people I was from California, LA, because it's the easiest thing to say. And they would always say one of two things. One, I'm from where all the gang members are from. Or two, I am from where all of the avocado, fucking green juice, Whole Foods, hippie, environmentalist, liberal people are from. Now, at the time that I first moved down there, I was unfamiliar with the latter half of people. I was not familiar with that world. I knew nothing about the avocado people. I knew nothing about the smoothie people. I knew nothing about any of that. What I knew was the people with the various colored flags in their pockets and the laces in their shoes. But once I had taken my life in a different direction and went back there, I no longer saw the colorful flag people. I no longer saw the people with the different color laces in their shoes. What I did see was the health people, the avocado people, the smoothie people, the movie people, the business people, the entrepreneurs, the people running around trying to make it in some various field, trying to do X, Y, and Z, the wannabe models and all of that's what I saw when I moved back, because I changed my focus. So I changed what it is that I saw. Same thing happens. I said a few minutes ago, I moved to North Carolina. I moved to North Carolina from California when I was 18 years old. And at the time I was doing dumb shit, and I was looking for dumb shit. And when I first got there, I ran into all kinds of other people who were doing dumb shit. When I was running around looking for weed to buy, I always ran into people who were selling weed. When I was allegedly selling weed, I always ran into people looking for weed. There was once upon a time when I figured that I was going to have a problem everywhere that I went, and I had a problem everywhere that I went. But when I started living differently, when I started trying to turn my life around, still in North Carolina, still in Charlotte, I no longer ran into the weed people. I no longer ran into the people who were looking for problems, because my focus had changed. So the things that I saw changed, and the things that I attracted to myself changed. I was in the exact same place. I went to a lot of the same places, but I saw very different people and experienced very different things. So if you are somebody who is running around the world and experiencing nothing but negative things and only sees the negative things, then do not look to the rest of the world. Look to yourself. What is it that you are focused on? What is it that you are seeking? Because if you go on your Instagram, your Twitter, your whatever it is that people are on, and scroll and only interact with all kinds of negative things, all you're going to see is negative things. And that's going to make you think that the world is nothing but negative. So when you go out into the world, you will see nothing but negativity. In my feed, I don't scroll very much, but I do see things. Now, I do see some of the so-called negative things, but you know what I see just as much as that? I see positive things. I see, look at this little, they got them little meme picture list things. Look at this list of the positive things that are happening in the world. Look at all of these medical breakthroughs, or the positive stuff that's doing to preserve animals, or certain things that they're making illegal, or whatever it is the case may be. All kinds of positive stuff. I see just as much positive as I do negative, and that colors my perception of the world. So when I go outside, like today, I see a bright sunny day full of people just running around doing stuff. I'm doing what it is that I am doing, and nobody is going to bother me, and I am not going to bother anybody. All of this chaos in the world is, for the most part, on an opt-in basis. When you choose to stop participating in it, it will stop participating in you. And this applies to all these things. There are a lot of people who tell me that they run around and everywhere that they go, they have some sort of racist experience. And that's how they know that I am wrong, when I am saying that that doesn't really affect you if you are not looking for it. But the problem is, what they don't realize is, they have colored their worldview with racism. They believe that their skin color, or maybe their gender or their sexual orientation is going to lead to some sort of discrimination and other treatment. So anytime something like that happens, they immediately attach their racism or discrimination label to it, regardless of what it is. If you drive through life thinking that the police pull over black people, then every time you get pulled over, it is going to be because it is black. Doesn't mean that that's what it is. That means that's what it is that you viewed it at. At the end of the day, you will always find exactly what it is that you seek, and you will attract what it is that you chase. If you are living in a dark, dreary world, if you are living in a world where everything is depressing and everything is bad and everyone is discriminating against you and there's nothing but hatred and division going on, then that is the world that you have cultivated for yourself. And I could tell you, we live in the same world. I travel to a lot of places and I do not experience any of these things. Again, I'm not saying they do not exist, period. But I guarantee you they exist far less than you are being told online. I know there are people who don't get along about dumb shit. I know there are people who argue about stupid things. I know people's families split over all of this nonsense that they read and these nonsensical beliefs that they are told that they have. But that is the vast minority of things that are taking place. By and large, the world is as it has always been. Again, not saying there is not nefarious things going on, not saying that there is not bad things going on, but that has always been the case. And at the end of the day, whatever it is, you cannot affect it. So it does not benefit from your focus, and you do not benefit from focusing on it. If you cannot control it, disregard it. The world is what the world is, and you are free to make your world into whatever it is that you would like to make your world into. So know that if yours is one of negativity and bad, some dude on the corner with a sign screaming. Anyway, so if yours is one of negativity and badness, it is because that is what you have made it into. When you go and involve yourself in all of this other nonsense, you will always be, as people say, the frequency. Whatever frequency it is that you tune into is what it is that you are going to get. If you put your radio on a station that plays rap music, expecting to hear country music, you will be sorely disappointed, and that will be no one's fault but your own. But there are, I don't want to say hundreds of, I don't know how many radio stations there are, but there are a lot of radio stations, and there is a radio station that you can find that is playing something that you want to hear, and it is up to you to tune into that. But everyone sits there and tunes into something they do not want to hear and gets mad about what is being broadcast and then blames the radio for it. That's not on the radio. That's on you, my friend. It is the exact same thing with the world. You will see exactly what it is that you are looking for. I look for good shit. I look for opportunities. So I see good shit. I see opportunities. I see a world of abundance because that is what it is that I seek. If you seek out a world of lack, you will find a world of lack. If you seek out bad luck, you will find bad luck. If you seek out things to be sad about, things to complain about, things to be hopeless about, you will find every single one of those things every single time. If that is your worldview, you can be outside on a beautiful, bright, sunny day with not a cloud, with barely any clouds in the sky, and you will miss all of the clear blueness and the sun shining, and you will find the 1, 2, 3 clouds that are up there, and that will color your perception of everything going on around it. So, disregard what it is that's going on. What is it that you want to see? What do you want your life to be? What do you want to experience more of? Focus on that, and you will find it. But if you focus on the bad shit, you will get bad shit.